There we are. All
All right.
right. I was just like, um, I love this show. I come from all over the place, but this is probably one of the harder ones. I'm running off a hot spot in the middle of the woods. Uh, but this is a really nice commercial kitchen, so you'll see in a minute. Um, welcome. What made you choose to share this particular recipe? And
Welcome. Thank you so much, R, and thank you, fellow foodies. Thank you for joining us today. This is a really simple, neat, easy, just a very minimal ingredient recipe that is going to be a favorite at your family reunion, at a potluck. You could use it all year round. It is very simple, delicious, and it's even for the pickiest of eaters. So I'm sharing it with you today because it's one of the easiest and most enjoyable recipes, especially if you are a fan of cinnamon rolls and apples. So if you're a friend or loved one has a hankering for apple pie, this is a really easy concept to do instead of making a whole apple pie. So we're excited to share it with you today in R's kitchen. So thanks for joining us.
yay! All right, look at this. I
So
never get to work in a commercial kitchen when I'm on the road. This is wonderful. So
I,
you
I
just,
love it.
all right, cover the ingredients.
Right, the ingredients are very simple. You can do a 9 by 13 pan if you're wanting to do a double portion. I use an 8 by 8 pan, and especially if it's just a throwaway aluminum that you can recycle after you're done with it. All you need is obviously an oven preheated to 400 degrees. You need a roll of cinnamon rolls. I use Pillsbury, but you can go with the store brand. It's just as delicious. And of course, then I just have a can of apple pie filling. Again, this is store brand. So it's really literally just two ingredients that you can use.
Now I actually found something. This was called fried apples, and they were half the price of apple pie filling. And it's
Per-
exactly, if you read the ingredients, it's
Mhm.
exactly the same stuff. So it was
That
like $2 less a can, but I messed up. Your recipe said 2 cinnamon rolls and
mhm.
1 filling, and I did the other way around. So I'm making more of a apple upside down cake.
Whatever.
Except
Yeah, yeah. It's be delicious no matter how you put it. So that's great. So that for 8 by 8 pan, there's two of them here. I get to make two recipe. It's the same recipe. I get to make two portions of it, one for my in-laws and one to enjoy here at home.
all right, I'm gonna have to let you keep talking. I don't know where the can opener is. So
Okay.
it'll take me a second.
Well, I'm gonna just keep going. I've got my oven already preheated to 400 degrees. So we're gonna go ahead and just open up your cinnamon roll container. And especially on a tough day, you just give it a good, there you go. And you just let those cinnamon rolls fall into the pan. The pan does not have to be pre-greased, which is really nice. So we just take each individual cinnamon roll and we just put it in the pan as such and just literally do it around the perimeter of the pan because these babies are going to get really big. They're going to balloon up while they're cooking. Just give them a little bit of space to do that. We've got one more left because we have 8 total cinnamon rolls. There we go. Just kind of strategically place them as such. What's nice with the cinnamon roll is they also give you some icing. We're going to use that after we're all baked and put the pie filling on. So what I do is I just put it here off to my right or off to my left. We sit aside. And then I'm ready to put my cinnamon rolls in the oven. It says from 13 to 17 minutes. My oven, that's about right. So I'm gonna go around here to even more. I'm gonna put my cinnamon rolls in the oven. And we're gonna start cooking those. And I'll start on my second batch. These are gonna be for my in-laws. Bonnie and Don. Because my father-in-law has a nice sweet tooth like I do, so he'll enjoy this especially. This is a really great recipe for breakfast too. If you've got people visiting you from out of town, or you're looking just to bring something to a brunch, this is a really great recipe to have and to use. And like I said, for the most discriminating and picky eaters, especially with little children, they're gonna love this. Anytime I've ever used this recipe at an event, then this has gone before anything else is, even before my meatballs. So again, not very pretty to pull this out of here, but here's your icing. We just kind of want that to soften up a little bit. So when it comes time to put that on our batch, it'll be ready. So again, we're gonna go back in the oven and put it no goods twin. We just set these aside for when it's time. We do recycle in this household, so I'm gonna put these aside over here. So when it's time, we'll be ready to recycle them. Hey, Ara, how are you coming along with your batch?
So I'm normally, sometimes I cook, sometimes I don't. And today I'm not able to because I didn't get to the store. So, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to remember this because I'm going with my family to Italy in September. And so this would be a great dessert to make.
Yes. Yes, and I think it will be any of your pickiest eaters, or just people. It's very different than what you normally see, and it's always been a crowd favorite from when I've made it and given. I mean, it's mainly at potlucks that I brought it to, certainly, but even at home, my husband devours it, don't you, dear?
Yes.
So it's a really quick, easy recipe to do. If you can make cinnamon rolls like a lot of us can, it's literally 2 ingredients, 3 counting your icing that comes with it. But what we're gonna do here, the last time I made this, I made the mistake of putting the icing on before the apples. We're gonna do it. We're gonna put the apples on top of the cinnamon roll. We're gonna put them back in the oven, and then we'll put the icing on top, and that makes it a little bit more delicious. So
Awesome.
yeah, but it's really easy to make. I like the 8x8 pans because then you can break it up and send one batch one direction and the batch the other direction. And and if not, then make a 9x13 pan is great. It's the same amount, just it's a double recipe. So yeah, it's a crowd favorite for sure. So
Excellent. I like that.
But I stumbled on it. The backstory is I was at a potluck back in the winter time, and this woman had made this recipe. And when I looked at her dish, pulled up the foil off of her pan, and she goes, "I made that. That is the easiest thing to make. Let me tell you all about it." And what's nice too is this recipe, you can add raisins to it, or you can add, maybe you've got somebody in your family that really likes walnuts or pecans. You can add to this recipe. This is your basic recipe though. You can add to it, take away. But anything with apples is good to me. So I'm a big apple. So
that's perfect.
But I like Ara has fried apples. That's even more delicious. I love fried apples. I just grabbed these because it's what I could find. Yeah, so it's simple, but I'm sure your friends and family in Italy will certainly enjoy it. I hope they do.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I am back on my phone. I should have done it on my phone all the time. See my laptop
Yeah.
right there? It decided to crash and now it's updating.
Nice.
So in the middle of the cooking show. So anyway, what did I miss?
We put the 2 batches in the oven and we're just letting them cook and enjoy. So for sure, for sure.
Okay. So you do just the cinnamon rolls and then you just put the sauce on top of it.
Yep. Yep. No,
So I imagined it the other way around. I imagine that you put the apples down on the bottom and then you put the dough on the top like an upside down.
I put the apples on top. So the apples and the apple juice just kind of seeps into the cinnamon roll on top. And then we'll put the icing then on top
So
of
it's
the
just like basically a quick apple pie.
Yeah, but it's a cinnamon roll bottom. Yep.
That's great.
So it's great for any meal, really, even for a breakfast, a brunch, or if you're bringing it to a potluck or an office potluck or family and friends potluck. It's really a versatile, very flexible recipe that you will be able to enjoy any time of the day. And if you ask my husband, he likes to have it for his evening snack.
Nice. I like that.
And good cold, or you can warm it up. You can rewarm it up in the microwave after the fact. So it can be served cold, it can be served warm. Really, it just depends on where the batch is going with you. Is it at home? You've got family coming over, you've got a dinner you're hosting at your home. This is a really nice, easy, quick dessert that you don't have to spend a lot of time on. Less than 20 minutes and you've got a dessert that's everybody will love and enjoy. For sure.
That's how they always should be, right? Just like now, have you done other types of fruit, or that type of fruit is what's most commonly available?
Yeah, apple to me is my go-to because I think cherry is a little bit too tart for the cinnamon roll, in my opinion. I would love to see someone make it with peach, like a peach pie, but with a cinnamon bottom. But really, the apple is the go-to. I think that's the safest fruit to have. Eventually, I would love to do it with a Granny Smith apple, do it a little bit more naturally instead of using already processed apple pie filling. I would love to do something like where I'm making Granny Smith apples or Golden Delicious apples ahead of time with a cinnamon concoction and putting it on. I will try next time, but this is the simple, easy route.
So do you typically make a double batch like that?
I either do a really long pan or I'll do the double batch because I always like to go feed my in-laws. They're older, they're elderly, they're in their 80s. So anytime that I am making something, I always have them in the back of my mind to make some extra so we can take over to them so they can enjoy it as well. So currently in my crock pot there, we're making an Italian beef today. Today is Sunday. We love to cook on Sundays. We're enough to go and take that to them. Yeah. It's always good to share. And to me, I love my love language you probably know this already, is cooking and giving of myself to others. And I express it through food and cooking. So I try to anyway, but life gets us busy, but when we can take a pause and enjoy cooking, it's always nice. So, hey Jane, where are you in Maui? We love Maui. We were in Maui about 7 years ago. So absolutely loved. We were on the west coast of Maui.
Well, I still haven't found a can opener. This is a commercial kitchen. So I know I used one yesterday, but we washed it and put it somewhere. So anyway, I'll catch up sometime.
All right, no worries. So we're just waiting for our cinnamon rolls to cook. We're almost there. It's certainly a nice, let's see how they're coming together.
Oh man, your kitchen smells. I mean, mine, I haven't even started cooking them and it smells like cinnamon.
Yeah.
Well, or have you turned on your stove, your oven yet?
Oh yeah, it's a convection oven too, so it heats up really quick. But yeah,
Oh, good.
I did
Nice.
for once. You know my habit of getting
Hey,
cookies.
or you need to get one of those little military can openers and put a
Yeah.
couple in your suitcase for when you're
Mm.
traveling.
Yeah.
Let me see if I think I might have one on my pocket knife. Let's see. But
Yeah,
I used
Swiss
to have
Army knives
one of
usually have,
those Swiss
yeah,
Army
Swiss
knives.
Army knives usually have
But-
one also.
Oh, see, if I had bought the pie ones, they had the.
Yeah, the pull tabs. That's all right. You'll find-
Thanks, Fred. I do have one on my pocket knife. I'll catch up here in a second.
Okay, great. Sounds great. So yeah, so while we're waiting on that, just by placing these little silicone or plastic vinyl holders of the icing, we just place it on top of our smooth top, and the heat from the oven kind of comes up and kind of loosens up or softens up the icing, which is kind of, nice to have. But we're about 2 minutes out from cinnamon rolls being done. So yeah, but it's a really simple, easy thing. We recycle in this house, like I said, so we take usually the aluminum pans that are throwaways, but we recycle them. And it's nice to have those because it's easy transport and you don't have to worry about tracking down your pan, your beloved cooking pan that you use all the time. So yeah. But yeah.
I would say, so talking about potlucks, I would say this is probably my favorite piece of equipment. It's got like 2 handles, a casserole carrier, insulated, and so you can just carry your. I forgot the plastic lid for this one though, but like, you could do a cold dish or a warm dish and bring it. The main reason the insulated part isn't the most exciting part. It's the carrying of it, especially if you have those aluminum pans.
Right.
They tend to be very flimsy.
Yes.
Yep.
And I find that this right here, like, really does a good job of carrying it. That was the best present I think anybody carried. But, right. All right, I got one can open, but it's hard to talk in can.
The nice people at Legion Spain gave me something similar.
It's like,
It's an insulated carrier.
Mm.
It is handy, handy, dandy.
yeah, because you have to be really careful at, potlucks. You can get someone sick pretty quick. The rule of thumb is you don't want food to be between 70 and 135 degrees
Right.
for that. Thanks, Fred, for the can opener on my knife idea. I know there's a can opener in this kitchen
Yeah, I
somewhere.
think
'cause
at
I
one,
used it yesterday.
I think at one time, especially down in the South where it's hot, they kind of banned sort of things filled with cream and mayonnaise and stuff like that during,
Oh, how could they do
summertime.
that at a church potluck? That's sacrilegious.
Well, they didn't really ban it, but they told people, look, don't use mayonnaise in the salad that you're gonna sit on the table out here in the heat.
All right, so I'm down in Tennessee. There was a debate yesterday. What is coleslaw? And I said, it is something that's made with mayonnaise. If it's not mayonnaise, it's a cabbage salad.
Mhm.
What do you guys think of that one?
Would agree.
Yeah, my new favorite thing is chopped cabbage and carrots with a kind of a spicy peanut dressing, no mayonnaise.
Ooh, nice. All right, well, my oven's gone off, my timer's gone off, so my cinnamon rolls are now I've got a smooth top here. My cinnamon rolls are now in a position where they can get their apple filling. So we're just gonna open this up. So just take a big spoon here and we see
In
we've
the
got,
past, I said I didn't like the pop tops because I felt like they had a higher potential to, leak. But I sure could have used one today.
it's all right. We've got space in between our cinnamon rolls, so I'm just gonna pour this here. Just pour the pie filling in there.
Mhm.
Again, really simple, folks, really easy. Don't want to get burnt. I have a tendency to burn myself. So we're just going to spread the apple filling around on top of the cinnamon rolls. Just kind of evenly, just try to get them in there. Get a little bit flat, get all that juice around. And if you overcook your cinnamon rolls, this apple filling, the liquid from this, will rehydrate your cinnamon rolls. So if you overcook your cinnamon rolls, it's okay because you've got the apple filling to rehydrate.
You almost seemed like you would want to overcook it.
Yeah, to some point, but you don't want to make them so hard though, then it's hard to bite in. Just put this right here and we'll do the second
I
one.
guess there's a thin line between golden, cooked, and burnt.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the difference is a matter of minutes, actually. Again, we're recycling everything from this. Spread it around. Spread the joy, spread the apple filling. It's the same thing.
Now, do you have something you like to serve this with, or it doesn't really matter?
It just kind of,
everything.
yeah, it kind of sits by itself. But if you wanted to get really ambitious, a scoop of vanilla ice cream probably would be really nice with it too, especially in the summer. Or if you wanted to get really fancy, nice dessert wine would be nice with it as well. A nice Riesling. Okay, so it's spread out.
And you put the what do you call it? I just forgot the cinnamon, the cream on top of that afterwards.
You can if you want the additional cinnamon on top.
So
Hmm.
you don't even need whipped cream then. You're putting that on there. Like
No, yeah. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna send this back into the oven just for a little bit, just to warm up the apples. And I'm gonna just put a little bit of extra cinnamon on this one because Don Vaughn likes his sweetness and his savory. Good thing they don't have internet or they'd be like, Shawnna. We're just gonna send this back to the oven for a few minutes, just probably about 3 minutes, just to give a warm up on those apples. So when it comes out, then it's gonna be nice and crisp. We notice here how soft that is coming out. So that'll be nice and good and easy to place on our apples. Let's whip that around a little bit. This was really hard when it came out of the tube. So just keep it there, let it warm up a little bit. We're just warming up our apples on top of our cinnamon rolls. Are you getting hungry yet, David?
Yes.
He's ready to say, grab a fork. He's like, grab a fork. Let's do it. Yeah. Or how are you coming along?
Maybe he's been knocked out again.
Yeah, he's probably locked out again, plus his heart.
Yeah, I keep losing the connection. It's in the oven. I have to, because it's a convection oven, I have to remember it cooks really fast.
It'll cook quickly for sure. So yeah, so putting raisins on top, that would be something nice, or even putting some walnuts on. That's an option as well for those in your group that like walnuts. That would be kind of a nice twist to it. You know, it's really the sky's the limit. You know, it would be really great served with ice cream. Anything with whipped cream is great too, but it would be almost overkill, in my opinion, with whipped cream. But those two flavors, the apple and then the cinnamon mixed together, it has that comfort feeling. It's definitely, this recipe could be made for Thanksgiving even, if you wanted to bring it. So there's some ideas then for Thanksgiving is to bring your apple cinnamon batch. So anyway, well, we're almost done here. I'm going to pull these out and we're going to get icing on them. And they smell, wow, they smell so good. Smells so good. There's a little bit of a bubble to the filling, but not too much.
And on that part, I guess you don't really have to cook it that much.
So here, we're going to just take our icing that was already pre-given to us. And I'm just going to move these over. And then just take this. This is really loosened up. Letting that loosen up just a little bit more over there. And you can really do anything with it. You can get off.
Well, that's helpful to use a spoon to drizzle it, because I would try to dump it on there and spill it everywhere. Fred will be proud I used the spatula to clean the can out.
Great.
Like one of these. Look at this one. This one's been well used. But it's got the edges still.
Nice.
Probably the best kitchen. Because I hate wasting that stuff that's still in the can.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you could just nicely drizzle it. Make it look fancy. And then here's the batch for the mother-in-law and father-in-law. So we're just I'll try to be a little bit neater over here.
So you said you set that on the top of the stove to warm up a little bit.
Yeah. Yep, your icing, it'll loosen it up, and that's better than putting it in the microwave and it exploding. So yeah, just
the things we learn the hard way.
Absolutely.
Well, I think the hard way for me is I should ask you tricks the cinnamon, that tube. I always seem to have a hard time making it not explode in my face when it opens.
Yeah.
All right, my computer has started back up.
Wonderful.
But I must have hit the button that said, okay, it's okay to update it or something when I
Oh,
did something. All I know is it.
well, you can eat your apple cinnamon delight while you're waiting for your computer to update.
Well, I'm licking the inside of the cans
Okay.
because I got the smell in here is killing me. I mean,
Yeah.
not literally, but yeah, it's like. Thanks for sharing this. I get really intimidated by baking.
Oh.
Like, no matter how much I've been baking, I still am intimidated by it.
Oh, this is so simple, R. You're gonna be the, you know, the highlight of the party with this recipe. This is really simple, and I mean, it looks like a streusel almost, but it's not, but it's really nice and tasty.
I wonder if you could just make this also with like, I'm not much of a baker either, but sort of like, you know, drop biscuits where you just kind of mix it up and put it on a
Absolutely.
sheet.
Yeah. Yep.
So instead, yeah. So you're saying if you didn't have cinnamon rolls, you could use the biscuit ones too.
Yeah, and if you were gluten free, you
cinnamon
could
on.
use some. You could use some other kind of, you know, something not wheat.
Sure. And then
That
you may look at raspberry or cherry or something, or a different fruit. This just marries both the cinnamon and the cinnamon roll to the apple. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we always think of
so
cinnamon.
have you ever
apple
like did what I was
historically.
thinking? Yeah. Have you ever done what I was thinking? The whole time I was thinking this recipe was the cinnamon rolls would be unwound and put on the top, like apple upside down cake.
Well, that's more like a cobbler or something.
Yeah.
When the crust is on the top.
I got into doing that when we had a lot, like apple upside down cake or cobblers, because then the fruit doesn't have to look good. That looks really good.
So good.
No.
All
right.
Yeah. Also, all the juice and stuff from those apples goes down into the bread, the flour. I mean.
Okay. So that being said, does it ever get too mushy on the bottom?
No, because you baked it long enough, and all the juices just kind of cascade around the cinnamon rolls. So as long as your cinnamon rolls are cooked, it's an even cook, and then you just bring it back in, put it back in the oven after you put the apples on top, just to kind of fortify the juices and the cinnamon roll, the bread underneath it. So we'll get a we'll look very Gordon Ramsay here. And see, just one scoop of this is a nice little serving right there. You could probably do about 8 of these within the 8x8 thing. So it's just one big scoop.
There you go.
Nice dessert for sure. We'll give this to David.
Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. We'll give that to David. Excellent.
If you don't mind, when we're come off, if you take a picture of that, so I'll have the pretty picture because mine's not going to look pretty.
Okay.
Does anybody have any final questions?
No, that looks great.
Yep. Thank you so much for sharing. And I don't know, what did you say you were cooking in the pot over there? Maybe come back on and teach us how to make that.
Yeah, Italian beef, and it's the Louis P&R version.
There you go.
Yeah, Louis P&R is a small Italian grocery store in our area.
They just have a spice mix that they sell.
And then I put in a little bit of beef broth with it, along with a packet of onion soup mix, and it's delicious.
There you go.
Yeah, very good.
All right.
We'll do that for next time, Mar.
Thank you so much. Enjoy your Sunday.
Happy Sunday. Thanks for joining us today. And